Dale, thanks for joining me. Gloucestershire have qualified for a home quarter-final against Lancashire. First of all, your reaction to that win over Durham this afternoon?
Yeah, I think particularly pleasing because I think we knew we were in the quarterfinals already, and our never like to mess with form, so it was good to just continue the good work. Also nice to see another young player go out and have a match-winning innings. So Wellesley had a chance against Glamorgan, didn't get any, but a second chance here in the comp, taking that and having another or getting 100, his first 100 is really pleasing because it's been quite a big team effort, the whole competition, and it's just given us another player to look at, and that obviously just strengthens our depth, which for me is what you need to win competitions.
You look at the tournament that we've had so far, and you've had Jack Taylor, Ollie Price, Ben Wells, James Bracey, probably a couple of others that have missed out scoring centuries and even more scoring half centuries. How important is it to have senior players but also young players stand up and be counted and put in those performances when it matters? Yeah,
I think that has been pleasing. Guys have stood up at different times as well. We had Anwar Ali arrive the next day, played, and we were in a bit of trouble there, and getting a 67 in that game allowed us to beat Northants. Obviously we've had Jack Taylor and Ollie Price being really consistent with their runs and pretty devastating at times, and that's given us that real base. But there have been different people stepping up at different times, and we've also haven't had it our own way as well. The first two wins was awesome, and you felt like you're on a roll, and then we went 2 defeats, and there were some pretty good conversations had after that, and what was more pleasing is a lot of those conversations and plans that we talked about then were implemented in the following games, and we've never really looked back. So it has been some outstanding individual performances, but also there's been a real team effort around that. Bowling wise as well, we've seen everybody really playing their part, spin, seam, all coming in, and I think we've bowled I think 6 out of the 8 games we've bowled teams out. So as much as the batting's been fantastic, I think the bowling as a unit has been awesome, and that's why we're in the position we're in.
You mentioned those 2 back-to-back defeats that we had after the 2 initial wins. What have you seen from a character point of view from your team after those 2 defeats to then come back and win 4 on the bounce to secure this home qualification for the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think there's that moment where you need to turn it around again, and I think the Worcester game was there was a lot of learning there. We still have got quite a lot of young players as well as experience, and what, as I said, was pleasing for me was the discussions and the points that were made there. The team learned very quickly, and we turned it around with a win the next game, and I think that showed character, number one, but also that they are fast learners, and obviously we just keep doing the right things, and like I said, I don't want to mess with form, and it's nice to just keep that roll going. Quarterfinals will be a little bit of added pressure, but for me that's exciting. And I think to get a home quarter-final after the year and a bit we've had, I think is fantastic for the players, for the staff, for the fans, and also for the club to come out and support the boys. And hopefully we can actually, obviously there's one game at a time, but if we can get through that quarter-final and make our way to the final, it'll be a great story.
I guess from your point of view, you had the opportunity to rest a couple of players today, Tom Price, and then at the last minute Graham Van Buren. Obviously it's great to be able to do that and still have players that can come in and put performances in that win you games, and Ben Wells did that today. Massive milestone for him, and you must be delighted having seen the hard work that he's put in.
Yeah, I think I wasn't planning on resting players. They picked up a few niggles at the last minute, and obviously there was no point in putting them out there with a quarter-final coming out. So in the end we rested them, but I was quite keen, even though we've got 2 days in between, I feel there's enough time to rest players, so I was quite keen to play the best team. As I said, I don't believe in taking any game lightly, so we wanted to go out and win the game, And what was pleasing though is, even though we didn't have our best team on paper out there, the boys put in the performance. So even Josh Shaw with the ball, Wellesley obviously with the bat was outstanding.
And looking ahead at our quarter-final team that we're going to face, it's going to be Lancashire here in Bristol. Not sure how much you've watched of Lancashire in this competition so far. If you have or haven't, how do you sum up Lancashire as an opposition for Friday?
Oh, I mean, Lancashire they're one of the top teams in the country. They'll always be tough, hard up north, and I think they'll also have some of their 100 players back as teams get knocked out. So they'll be a really strong side. I think what does help us is having home ground advantage. We've played on this wicket before, and just having the support and not having to travel is always is an advantage to us. And I think we've created that by playing good cricket. So hopefully we use that advantage and go one step further.
And finally, just how pleasing has it been to see your team back with belief and confidence over the last few weeks? For you, putting the hard work with the lads over countless months, it must be incredibly pleasing for you.
Yeah, I think we all needed this. We needed some the ray of sunshine, and I think this is a competition we realistically could compete in, and I think we've done a great job, and there's no reason why, if we do play to our potential, that we can't go all the way through in this competition. And yeah, it's true. I think confidence is such an important role or part in batting, especially when you've only got one chance. And sometimes it's hard to find a way of getting confidence in people, and also for players to find their own confidence and belief in themselves. And most of the time it's performance. And what has been great now is there have been a lot of players that have performed, and I think the confidence is there, and we just need to take that in to the next game, and then hopefully further in the comp, and also hopefully we can take that into the 4-day stuff as well.
Well, look, Dale, I know we've all really enjoyed watching Gloucestershire over the last month and a half, so well done today, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks.